Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you are doing good. So today we'll try to see workflow activities. So in my previous video we understood workflow properties, and today we are talking about all the workflow activities, how it works, and mainly we will be understanding the workflow activities. So let's get started. So we have approvals, and under approvals also we are having a lot of activities. So in approval, we are having approval group. So from approval group, if you cursor down here, you can able to see like what exactly this workflow activity does, why we use it. But and just quickly, let you know the quick about this group approval group. So whenever we have to generate, approval for any of the particular group, what we can do is we can make use of this approval group activities, and we can do that if you have to generate approval for catalog manager or any any particular group. Just you have to click here and you have to provide the group name for which you want to generate approval, and you are having this condition also. So at what condition you want to trigger this approval activity, you can define it here, and you can have group name to that group you want to generate the approval. And you are having other option as well, like advanced. So here you can write your script also if you have something which is more than group. So you can make use of this advanced, like if you have to generate based on some condition, or you have to post a different number of assignment groups, so you can do that from here. We'll try to see that in our further videos. And here you can have a schedule as well. And condition for approval also, sometimes you know anyone from the each group approves, that should be marked as approved. And sometimes we need like anyone from the group or anyone from the each group, or if anyone approves the the approval, it has to be marked as approved. So we can select wait for condition according to our requirement. And here same for the reject. So like if anyone rejects the approval, it will be marked as rejected. So those things we have to select here for the for condition of the approval as per our requirement. So mainly this is how approval group activity looks like, and we can generate the approval for a group by using this core activity approval group. And something similar like approval user is also kind of similar to approval group. So by using this approval user, we can generate the approval for a particular user. So same ways we have to give a name. If you want a particular condition on approval has to be generated, you can have that condition here, and you can select the user as well as group. So approval will be generated to that particular user what you are selecting here, and if you are selecting any particular group, then approval will be generating to both of them if you are selecting user as well as group. And you can select the individual, whether group or users according to your requirement. Same way you can write the advanced script as well here, and you can have condition for approval and a schedule. Okay, so now let's talk about approval action. So approval action is nothing, so when it has to be marked as approved and when it has to be marked as reject, so that thing we do it from approval action. So we marked any of the approval as approved and reject, and we have other option as well, mark task requested and disregard pending approvals. So we can do that approval action from this activity. Okay, So let's talk about approval coordinator. So in a lot of interviews, this question will be asked: what is approval coordinator and why do we use it? So let's see, like, when we use approval coordinator activities. So approval coordinator activities, it's provide a way, like when approvals outcome depend on one or more child activities. Like if like any of the request has to be approved once, user approved that request as well as particular group approves that request, then it has to go to a particular approval, and the outcome of this approval depends on another two child activities. So in that scenario we can use approval coordinator activities. So here we are like what approval we are generating, it is depending on two or more than two, more than one, like child activities. So if they are rejecting, both of the child activities, what should happen into this approval? When they are approving like both of the child activities, or maybe we can generate more than one, multiple child activities we can generate according to the requirement. So what is the outcome of those child activities going to, you know impact this approval? So the outcome of this approval is dependent on child activities which we have defined. So here if you come, you can see wait for all child activities to be approved. So like what approval we are generating from here, it will wait until and unless all the child activities are approved. So child activities, can be a user approval, group approval, manual approval activities. So it can be any one of them, and it can be all of them as well. So here outcome will be depend on multiple child activities, whether two, so more than one, whether two, three. So it is on requirement. So we are having, we can define condition based on script as well. So here we can define the script. So let's see this generate activities. So if you read here, you can pretty much understand this. So generate activities immediately can create task or approval from any task or approval. So it will if you have to if you don't want to wait till any of the task activities to come and create a task, if you want to immediately create from any of the record task or approval, so you can use this generate activities and you can do that. So you don't have to wait until create task or approval activities has to come into the workflow for creating a task or activities. Instead of that, you can use just this generate activity for the same. And let's see, like, okay, let's open and see how it looks. So here you have to give the name for all the activities, and if you want to generate the approval, you can click here. And if you want to create a task, generate a task, you have to click generate task. So if I'm just checking this box, generate approval, so from this activity it will generate the approval. And if I want task to be generated, I have to click task. If I want both has to be generated, like I have to check it and I have to submit it. So let's come to this manual activity and understand. So for manual activities, like if I want manual like manual approval. So if I want manual approval to be triggered, approval, like I can manually add someone, and that approval should go to that person. So in that scenario we can use manual activities. So here you have to define the approval rules, and same way, so here you can add anyone manually, like you can add user outside the workflow process. Yeah, so you can manually add the user to whom you want to send the approval, and approval will be sent to that particular person at this activity, like where you have defined this activity. At this point you have option to add approval, and in this activity the approval will go to that particular person. So now see the rollback activities. So rollback activities we used if we have to go back to the previous activity. If we have to roll back to the earlier activities, in that scenario we can use rollback to. So it will roll back to that particular activity. Okay. So let's click and see how it looks. So here just you have to give the name and it will roll back to the earlier activities. So approvals we kind of discuss about it, and let's try to see other core activities in our next video.